G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Love to see your face as always, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user Am I the Asshole 87 Throwaway, titled, Am I the Asshole for abandoning my siblings? I'm not so sure how to format this, other than just jumping right into it. I, female 17, am the oldest of 3 living with my 2 siblings, female 14 and male 10. And also our mother. Our father left when my brother was born, and afterwards, we moved states closer to family for help. Since then, I've been helping my mum with raising my siblings the best I can. We've had family come over to help when I was busy, and my mum was at work, but for the most part, it was just the 4 of us. When we moved, I was placed back in school as soon as I could be. I've always been more quiet than most, and living in a new state only made the social awkwardness worse. But eventually, I met another girl around my age, and we started to become good friends. The girl, Alana, and I started doing a lot together. It took only a couple of years, if not less, to be considered like family. A little over 5 months ago, Alana and I started dating. We took it very slow and kept it to ourselves. Last month, when we hit 5 months, she convinced me to tell my mum. She was fine with the ex-boyfriends I've had, and based off prior comments, seemed to support the LGBTQ+ community. Last Sunday, I decided to tell her. Alana spent the night because she wanted to be with me when I told my mum, so in the morning we both sat her down with us at the dining room table. When we told her, she freaked out. She said all sorts of angry things at us. My girlfriend and I tried to keep our cool, but before the conversation was over, I was in tears, and she was clearly pissed. That was the only time I've ever sworn at my mother. I left the house for a few hours. I needed to relax and calm down before making any hasty decisions. When I returned later, I opened the door to see my suitcase packed and sitting next to the couch. I took the hint, grabbed it, and left again. I've been staying with Alana since, but it's difficult because her parents don't know about us either, and they just know my mum and I got into an argument. This week, my phone's been blowing up with family members criticizing me for leaving my siblings and my mum like that. I can only assume they've been given one half of the story, but maybe I'm wrong. My mum hasn't called or messaged since. I feel sorry, but at the same time, I don't know if she understands how she hurt me. So Reddit, am I the jerk here? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might be an asshole for leaving my mum and siblings to fend for themselves. This may be seen as an asshole move because I have been helping them all out for the past 10 years. Yeah, but you didn't willfully leave the house, did you? You were forced out, and then the narrative was spun in a way that you just abandoned everyone to the rest of your family. I don't know why you're saying that you left them. You didn't leave by choice. That's like saying a sailor willfully abandons a sinking ship instead of going down with it. You don't really have much choice, do you? Just from that alone, you're not the asshole in this situation. Your mum is a broken person, and I do hope that she comes round, apologizes for the damage she's done, and makes things right. But it doesn't seem likely given how this story has gone. Not the asshole. In the comments, Secret Werewolf 1942 says, "Oh sweetie, not the asshole. Have a virtual mum hug. Your actual mum sucks, and I would very much like to shake some sense into her. Put her on blast to your family. Let them know she kicked you out and why. Either you'll find allies, or it doesn't matter because those bridges are burning anyway. If your school has a GSA, reach out to the teacher sponsor. They should be able to direct you to help." Seconding the virtual mum hug. I know it can't make up for how awful your actual mum has been, but hope it makes you feel a little bit better. Not the asshole. Anyone who throws out their minor child is more than likely the asshole, but doing it for the child being LGBT+ guarantees it. Yup, you don't get to just pack your kid's stuff without discussion and kick them out. Mum has permanently damaged this relationship in ways I bet she cannot even fathom yet. There are, on rare occasions, times to decide a minor child needs to leave the home. Simply coming out is never, ever one of them. More virtual mum hugs. I'm so sorry your mum has failed you like this. spread clearly untrue rumors about you, and generally making sucky decisions all around. But remember, those are her sucky decisions. You are not abandoning anyone. She made these choices, not you. Unusual Promise 8503 says, "You are aggressively not the asshole. You didn't abandon anyone. Your mum abandoned you due to a bigoted perspective. Try to retrieve all important paperwork from her house. If it's important to you, don't be afraid to let relatives know that she kicked you out as opposed to whatever lies she has been spewing. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and be gentle with yourself." And now, onto the update. In my last post, a lot of you sent some sweet comments my way. I appreciate all the support. Even some of the more controversial comments did provide some great insight. I took a lot of these to heart and went to see if I can fix things. Firstly, I called my father. Our relationship is strained, being separated and not seeing each other often, but he has made it to some of my bigger events since the divorce. Double digits, Sweet 16, mostly birthday stuff, but sometimes other things. He never wanted us to move away, just felt that he couldn't handle the third kid at the time. I digress. I called him and it went to voicemail. I found myself crying into the phone as I relived the past 2 weeks, but I made sure to word it as, "Mum kicked me out because I have a girlfriend." He called back a few hours later and said he'd see what he can do to help and will keep me updated, and asked me to do the same. Secondly, on Tuesday, I talked to Alana about us telling her parents. Between people saying I should get their support and those saying I shouldn't in fear of more backlash, it wasn't an easy choice. I was hoping, worst case scenario, my dad would be able to help, and in the best case, we'd have 3 adults rooting for us. She was hesitant, seeing how things went with my mum, but ultimately agreed. We sat her parents down similarly to my mum. When I say we, I really meant that she did most of the talking. I was still worried things would go wrong. She started off by simply explaining why I've been here for over a week during class finals. We tried coming out to my mum, which created an argument and led to me getting kicked out. Her father said that he wished that we had told him sooner, and "I'm sorry for failing you two, for making this feel like an unsafe place to be who you are." Alana's stepmom and dad talked for a few minutes before coming back with new rules. They wanted their couch back. If that meant dusting off the air mattress from when we were kids, or just getting some extra blankets, they didn't really care. We do us, so long as it isn't illegal and we don't get into trouble. But that said, since I was now under their roof in a slightly less temporary way, I'd start having to follow the same rules Alana did. Curfew, grades, things like that. All of which I agreed to. Her parents are going to take us back to my house today. I wanted to give my mum another chance. I mean, I don't get how you can just walk away from someone after your entire life. I'm either going to get these documents that I need, or my mum back. In the latter case, I still don't know if I'm going to go back to sleeping there quite yet. I'm still hurt. After talking to my sister, she understands and would rather me stay away if needed. My brother's a little confused, but says he just wants us all to be happy. Thank you all again for your overwhelming support and advice. In the comments, OKEb says, "Opie, you should not go back to that awful place except to grab your stuff. You deserve so much better than Biomom. Your girlfriend's dad gets that and is trying to make his home safe and accepting for you. Take it and run. You will be a massive asshole to yourself if you move back in with your Biomom. Opie, please listen to the other posters. It's not safe for you back there. Please, please, stay away and stay safe. Protect your emotions and your heart. Sending you hugs and the promise that it gets better." Glum Hamster says, "Aside from it being messed up for Alana to tell you to come out to your mother when she hadn't done it herself, it's probably best to see if you hear back from your dad and keep staying at Alana's house. I'd also recommend telling the family that your mum kicked you out, not you left. If she's willing to lie about how you left, she's willing to lie about not treating you fairly if you move back in." And OP replies, "This was something I wanted to clarify in this post if I wasn't limited to 3,000 characters after seeing people's reactions to the first post. She wanted the two of us to start coming out together. That's why she was with me when we first told my mum. My mum seemed supportive, and her parents never really hinted one way or another until we told them. Telling one supportive person is easier than trying to tell 2 unknown people. Neither of us knew how it would go, so I don't fault her. She feels awful about it still, but I'm trying to reassure her that there was no way of knowing. Y'all are 17. I'm sure your girlfriend just didn't know any better. This probably would have happened even if you told her folks first. If she's remorseful, that means she's willing to learn and grow from this. So in that case, don't be too harsh on her. I see how it worked out, and it's a terrible irony that your beliefs about your parents were reversed. My son came out to me second, his stepmom first, his dad third, and my first gut reaction was, why wouldn't I be first? Of course, I didn't say that out loud. I could see how easily my son could have kept quiet longer if his stepmom had had a bad reaction. Stacy3536 asks, how did it go when you got back to your mom's? OP replies, she wasn't even there, she was at work, but all the documents we needed were left on the table. So I guess that's that. Guessing my dad called ahead to make sure everything was ready. I know it has to hurt to be treated this way by your mum, but at least your girlfriend's parents are supportive. If anyone else in your family tries to say anything else to you about leaving, tell them you were kicked out and what really happened. And yeah, that's all we have for now on that story, guys. If there are further updates, I will be sure to read these again and let you guys know what happens in the future. To OP, I hope that only the best comes out of this for you, because that is a terrible thing to have to go through with someone that you should be able to trust with your life. Unfortunately, that's just life sometimes. Anyway, guys, I'd love to know what you thought of this one down in the comments below. Let me know. Our next post is by user Waste Public, titled, Am I the asshole for not inviting my mum to my baby shower? So background, I, 21 female, am 7 months pregnant. I got pregnant after my antipsychotics cancelled out my birth control. It took months of therapy for me to realize the blame isn't on my son, and I'm somewhat happier. My son is also my parents' first grandchild. My baby shower is in April, just 3 weeks before my due date. My aunt is planning it and is making the invitations. So far, it's all 3 of my aunts, siblings, grandparents, and any cousin who can make it, along with any of my friends who want to come. I asked my ex-stepmom, as my dad left her for my mum 5 years ago, if she wanted to come. This woman helped my grandparents raise me and treated me like her own. I love her. She said yes, by the way. My mum, on the other hand, before she came back 5 years ago, I didn't see her for nearly 10 years. So I decided not to have her or my dad there because I want that day to be about my son and I without the drama. Well, my dad found out and thinks that it's shitty of you to leave out your own mother when it's her first grandchild. I replied with, if y'all were actually there to raise me, I'd reconsider inviting you. But since you decided to ignore your 4 children, I'ma guess you'd do the same to your grandson. They haven't spoken to me since. What makes me wonder if I'm the asshole is that my little sister, 15, has taken their side. I love my sister, and so her bashing me hurts. Everyone else is on my side, and so I brought it to Reddit to ask for unbiased opinions. Unfortunately, as it stands, OP, your sister is only 15 years old. Therefore, she has not fully developed. She doesn't have a full grasp of what these people have done to you, it sounds like. And I would say it's an easy bet that she has been heavily influenced and guilt-tripped by these people in order to bash you and take their side. As much as this hurts, I don't think that solely her being on their side means that you have any ability to be the asshole in this situation. I think that your hurt is valid, I think that your decisions around your own baby shower are valid, and your parents have spoken with their actions. They haven't spoken to you since. To me, that's pretty cut and dry who the asshole is here. I'm gonna go with you're not the asshole, OP. In the comments, Trusted Triangle says, not the asshole. She wasn't there when you needed her, and even if she was, the invitation is totally in your hands. You are not obligated to invite anyone. Elderwin says, not the asshole. 3 weeks before your due date, you don't need unnecessary stress. You explained yourself very clear, and they should honor it. Maybe your parents are pressuring your sister to make you change your mind. And OP replies, I wouldn't be surprised. When Mum came back, my sister was 10, and that's when the trouble started. She started getting into fights, smoking, drinking, running away, and sleeping around at the ages of 11 to 14. Every time our grandparents would try to discipline her, she'd run to Mum until it blew over. So their bond is a lot stronger than what I even want. So your mum corrupted her? That's terrible. And OP replies, luckily she's calmed down the last year. Her best friend was killed when they were 14, and that prompted my sister to get help. Unfortunately, Mum still has a hold on her. Primary Criticism says, not the asshole. It's your baby shower, you get to invite whoever you want. They may be your parents legally speaking, but you don't think of them as your parents. They may not like it, but that happened because of their own decisions. Not the asshole. I guess she only wants to be there for appearance's sake anyway, and is probably pressuring your sister into changing your mind. Stick to your guns, and congrats on your upcoming arrival, and good luck. And now, on to the update. Hi everyone. It's been a year since the first post, and in honor of my son turning 1 today, I thought I'd give you all a little update. First, my baby shower went off without a hitch. My ex-stepmother ended up backing out at the last second due to her own personal problems at the time, and she convinced me to invite my parents. For the most part, they behaved. I don't know if they were completely sober at the time, but my aunt and brother kept an eye on them. Second, my son was born May 16th at 9 pounds 15 ounces and 21 inches long. He is such a healthy, beautiful baby, I couldn't be prouder. For those who are concerned about my mental health, while I still struggle, I've been taking my medication, continuing therapy, and leaning on family. My mom still hasn't met her grandson. I have a strict rule stating no drugs, and you have to be completely sober around my son. They thought that I was joking until I blocked them. My dad is currently 6 months sober. Mum is leaving for a sober house today. I am proud of the first step. Lastly, I want to thank everyone in the last thread. Your energy and thoughts carried with me throughout the party, and it ended up being amazing. Thank you all. In the comments, Imothro says, 9 pounds 15 ounces and 21 inches long? Good grief, girl. You birthed a whopper of a baby. Are you okay? Congrats on your new arrival, and I'm so glad things are going smoothly. And OP replies, lol, I had a 20-hour labor. 7 hours in, I asked for an epidural. 15 hours later, I had to have a C-section because his big head got stuck. Whoever said the first baby is the best lied, and I just want to have a talk. Sai can't think of a name says, congrats. I love reading happy updates. It sounds like everyone's made fantastic progress in the past year. And OP replies, it definitely took some arguing, cold shouldering, and lots of discussions, but I'm happy they're on a better path. I'm happy I'm on a better path. I had no desire for a better life because I was comfortable. With my son, I'm now going to school and am ready to quit my job so I can spend time with him. My husband has a very high-paying job, so we fortunately can afford it. Chiabata Pause says, this is a great update, and congratulations on the birth of your son. Having read your original post, I do have to wonder if your parents had something to do with your ex-stepmom backing out at the last second and convincing you to invite them instead. But it sounds like it worked out regardless. And OP replies, I don't think they did. My ex-stepmom is a very strong-willed woman. It's what drew me to her when we first met. My parents had known her for years before I was born, and I think my mum felt betrayed. That, and my siblings and I treated her friend more like a mother figure. She had very personal reasons for not attending, and I accepted it because, as much as I wanted her there, her own grandbabies needed her more. Well, I'm glad things are looking up. Did your ex-stepmom meet your son already? And OP replies, she's actually watched him a few times. She's busy with her own grandkids, so it's been a few months, but we talk regularly. Congratulations. I'm glad everything seems to be working out. Did your sister come around as well? And OP replies, sorry for the late reply, been busy with birthday party and school. Yes, she did. I don't know what woke her up, but I think it has something to do with her seeing her nephew grow, our dad getting sober, and mum refusing to at first. Whatever the reason, we're a lot closer than before. We're 6 years apart, so it's hard for us to have common ground, and I wouldn't change it. She's slowing down with the alcohol, but still loves a good party. But as long as she's safe and knows I'm here, I'll be happy. Our next post is by user PositiveElk8110, titled, Am I the asshole for cancelling the entire vacation when I found out that my stepdaughters deliberately hid my daughter's passport to get her to stay home? I've been married to my wife Beth for 5 years. I have a bio daughter named Jessica, she's 18, and I also have 2 stepdaughters named Monica and Leah. They're 25 and 28. Both are single moms and live with us currently. There has been issues about my stepdaughters asking my daughter to babysit the kids. Jessica didn't have a problem with it at first, since this is what she does to earn money, but since her stepsisters don't pay her much, she'd just refuse to babysit. We worked this out by having my wife take care of paying for the babysitting. I planned a family vacation for 3 days and everyone wanted to go. However, both Monica and Leah suggested that Jessica stay home and watch the kids, since Beth doesn't want her grandkids to come. They said it's because the kids are used to Jessica and hiring another babysitter would cause issues, and also said that Jessica isn't too fond of our destination, but it was obvious that Jessica wanted to go. They insisted and Beth offered to pay her double, and there was just a lot of back and forth on this until I demanded they stop bringing it up. We were supposed to go last week, but when everybody had bagged their bags and it was time to go, Jessica found out that she didn't have her passport on her. We searched her bag and then went home and searched there. Beth and my stepdaughters kept insisting that we go back to the airport or else we would miss our flight. They insisted that Jessica stay at home with the kids. They even told the new babysitter to go home because she was no longer needed. I refused to go and kept searching for the passport till Monica admitted that she helped Leah hide Jessica's passport to get her to stay home with the kids. I was livid. I tried to get her to tell me where it was, but she said Leah had it. Leah denied, so I threatened to cancel the vacation, and that's when they gave it back. I decided to actually cancel the vacation and blew up at both of them and berated them. They stayed upstairs for a while, and Beth refused to speak to me and said that I punished my stepdaughters for worrying about their kids and wanting them to stay with someone they know. I got told I overreacted and ruined the trip for everyone. Editing to mention that kicking my stepdaughters out isn't possible since my wife co-owns the house that we currently live in. Oof, dude, I don't know, man. Your wife's enabling this behavior. Your wife is supportive of this. This is an entire shit show, my man. This is not good. I would not stay. I can see why you're staying. I would get the hell out of there. I would cut my losses. I'd stay away from enablers because this sounds pathetic. This sounds so sad that these two get enabled like that. Listening to that entire story has been making my skin crawl. Honestly, your actions are admirable in this one, and you and your daughter are trying to come to common ground here and make it fair for everyone. Sadly, you have 3 bad apples that are spoiling the bunch, and I'd toss them out for good measure, but that's just me, man. Not the asshole. In the comments, InterestingBug8878 says, not the asshole. To be honest, I would have kicked your wife and lazy no-good stepchildren out right then and there and ended the marriage. If they were 12, I might understand this level of entitlement and immaturity, but in their late 20s? And what the hell is with your wife? She should have roasted them for pulling this BS. Yeah, there is no way the wife wasn't in on this too. She absolutely knew about this plan. OP needs to ditch all 3 of them. I was just about to say this. The wife obviously knew what the stepdaughters were up to, and her response proves it. Also, who tells the babysitter to go home? They were counting on OP being more concerned about going on the trip than finding his daughter's passports. The stepdaughter and wife are trying to treat OP's daughter like a modern-day Cinderella. I'm not saying that he should divorce his wife, but he should seriously reconsider if his marriage, in its current iteration, is a healthy situation to be in. If you won't say it, I will. He should divorce his wife. With how on board Beth was to leave his daughter home the second they couldn't find her passports, I don't believe for a second that she wasn't in on the plan to hide it. I think it's disgusting when parents prioritize their new spouse over their existing child, especially when that new spouse has shown their parenting role model is the evil stepmother from Cinderella. OP is wrong to be with this woman, and to let her and her daughters be around his daughter at all? I highly doubt this is the first time they've all openly treated his daughter like shit, and if he's a good father, this kind of behavior should be a deal breaker. Quote, kicking my stepdaughters out isn't possible since my wife co-owns the house that we currently live in. OP really just needs to move out then. The house will sort itself out in a divorce, and everyone will likely be moving out. This whole post talks about how Jessica is being taken advantage of, but OP fails to see that the wife and stepdaughters are massively taking advantage of OP as well. Two women in their mid-20s who seem to feel entitled to do nothing more than make babies is not going to just end with the two small children that are currently in the picture. OP is going to be supporting them and supporting them and supporting them some more until there is nothing left. The line should have been drawn a long time ago. Pursuing a divorce is probably the only way to get OP's wife to see that she's not the only one who gets a vote on whether or not two baby-making mooches live under the same roof and get to treat other family members badly. Also, isn't stealing someone's passport a federal crime? And withholding someone's passport in order to press them into domestic servitude? Baby mamas need to do some growing up, not the asshole. Edit to add, I'm not saying a federal tactical team should be set in, I'm just saying OP has a lot of leverage to get the house cleared out. Raven of my heart says, not the asshole. You don't just have a stepdaughter's problem, you have a wife problem. I would rethink your current family situation and how your daughter is being treated. And OP replies, you're right. After seeing where my wife stands in this, I'm beginning to consider some things. Ask your daughter how your wife treats her when you are not around. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. What would you say to this OP in this situation? I want you to let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, thank you for listening today. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.